I'm Kitty Gum Dropping. You're watching Kitty's channel. So I mentioned last week on my birthday that I was going to be making, like, repainting dolls, refacing dolls, redoing their hair. Basically, I'm going to be revamping them from scratch. Like their factory ways, they look like this. This one I think I might be keeping, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But I explained that I'm going to be redoing dolls as a new hobby of mine, not so much for YouTube. I may do a video here and there for that if you guys are interested, but not quite yet because I just don't feel like I'm going to be able to accomplish what I would need for it to look right. That brings us to today's video. When I buy most of these Bratz, or I've only bought 2 boxes so far, but when I bought the Bratz, none of them came with shoes. None of them. And I have some Bratz, don't get me wrong. I have 2 behind me that I already had. I've had those 2 since like 2011 or something like that. I got the Chloe and I got Megan, who have always been my 2 favorites personally. So most of them come without shoes. The ones that have shoes behind me, the Bratz from 2011 are shaped differently from the Bratz from like the early 2000s. And they need feet. They desperately need feet. And I don't want to buy a bunch of Bratz shoes because honestly, the Bratz shoes that were made back then are not really in touch with the things that I'm going to be doing today. And I can repaint them with acrylic paint. I have a lot of that. Like, long story short, what we're doing today is making the Bratz shoes. Those ones don't fit right. I mean, they pop on and off. Let me grab Megan. Something about them does not look right on the old Bratz. It just doesn't. Maybe it's just me, but it doesn't look quite right. It doesn't sit right. It's too small. Oh, ma'am, you had a nip slip. Good thing she doesn't have nips. So Nevra, I want to be keeping because I figured her dark hair would add a good contrast with the blonde and the red that I already have going on behind me in my display section, which is coming together so cutely, I might add. So if you're interested in me doing DIY Bratz shoes, getting them to fit on Nevra, based on this guide that I found on the internet, which I will link down below so that you guys can follow it if it works, it seems promising, so we'll see. Go ahead and stay tuned. First things first, I gotta introduce the medium that I'm using, which is Fimo soft clay, right? Like the good stuff. It's oven baked, so I'll have to bake it in the oven, and it specifically said that I need to use a glass bakeware dish, so I had to go buy one for this because I just had metal in this house. I don't even have a lot of dishes because you've seen my kitchen if you saw the fudge making video. Whew. So you need this, you sculpt it into the shape of the shoe that you want, fantastic, and then you bake it in the oven according to the instructions, which say, so you shape it, you bake it, and then you can paint it, and then after you've got everything, well, you gotta remember to make it big enough for the doll's leg to go in, because you're gonna have to do this next step with hot glue. You put hot glue in the center of the doll shoe, and then you wait for it to get a little tacky so that it's not just running all over the place and doesn't burn the doll's leg. And on the leg, you need to make sure you put Vaseline because once you stick it in there, hold her completely straight so that the shoe fits correctly. And then you just wait for it to dry, twist it, pop it off, and then you have a pop-on, pop-off Bratz shoe. That's the attempt that we're gonna be making today. Please wish me luck, and if this works, maybe you guys can try it out for yourself if you guys have Bratz, because it's not, I don't think it's gonna be that hard, but I mean, let's find out first. I'm speaking before I even know what's going on. Welcome to my table. It's covered in paint. I don't ever clean it, so it has all these stains. In case you're wondering why I have the construction paper sitting over here, it's not really an interesting reason. It's simply because I want to be able to, like, not pick up anything off the table. I don't know, I just kind of wanted something to work on in case it sticks to the table. I'm going to do the black. It'll hide my mistakes better since it's my first try. This is my first time working with Fimo clay, though not my first time working with clay at all. It said warm it up in your hands, so while it's warming, oh my god, no wonder. Anyway, while I'm warming it up in my hands. I took 3 years of ceramics in high school, freshman through junior year, and then senior year, I ran out of ceramics classes. Like, I literally ran out. Oh, I like that. So I had to take clay sculpture and screen printing. And that's fine, screen printing was okay, but I'm more of a person who likes to be able to learn a skill that I can continue to use, not one that has to be dependent on whatever's around me unless I've acquired it myself. Basically what I mean is screen printing took like really big machinery that I wouldn't be able to acquire easily or even fit in my apartment if I had it. So I need stuff more along the lines of like, I can fit in those plastic storage drawers. Because I got like 3 of them at this point sitting over there full of art supplies and doll making stuff. So, long story short, I have some years of sculpture under my experience belt, and I'm not going into this completely blind. Other than the fact that I didn't plan out what kind of shoes I'm gonna make, I'm just going to make whatever feels right to me, I suppose. I should get like putty knives. I have them. I didn't know what I'd want, so I just brought all the putty knives that I have. Keep warming this up a little bit. Sounds like it started storming, so if you hear thunder while I'm doing this, I apologize. I think I figured out what I'm gonna make for my first shoe. I'm just gonna make an easy peasy little pair of Converse, because how hard could that be to mess up, right? I'll paint it and everything afterwards, but we're making the Converse now, and I'm not gonna be too tripped up about the laces either, so don't hold me accountable for that. By the way, these packages of Fimo are like $2.99, $2.59, $2.59 or $2.99 a package, so they're not excessively expensive. I guess they are if you're making a bigger project, but since you're baking them in the oven, you can't really make such a big project with these. You have to make it at least smaller than the inside of your oven. So if you're making stuff like Bratz shoes, it's basically like, you can probably make 4 pairs of Bratz shoes out of this if they're not too big, or 1 pair of Bratz boots. So you're actually getting a pretty good deal if that's what you're doing. Do my balls look even to you? I can't tell. They're my own. Okay, so now that I got my balls evened out, I am going to see if I can get these shaped into like basic shoe shapes. Like high top Converse is the goal. Wish me luck. So far it looks like a rain boot. We may have to reconfigure how we're doing this. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna mix these 2 balls together real fast. I'm gonna mix these 2 balls together real fast, and then I'm gonna cut about 1/3 of them off, and then I'm going to cut them in half after I've mixed them back together, and then I'll be back again to try that again, because all I made so far looked like a rain boot, and I don't want a rain boot. Anybody can make a rain boot. I'm gonna change it to making Demonia boots. If you don't know what Demonia boots are, I'm gonna throw up a picture right here for you so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But they're these big, chunky, cross between goth and combat style kind of boots. More goth than anything else. Like, definitely got the darker vibe to them. But I was figuring I could make the holes big enough for her leg, get them up to her knees, if not close to her knees, because I'd still like to be able to bend them. And maybe we can turn out with something salvageable after all, because the first thing I was doing, not working so far. Again, with the 2 balls roughly the same size ordeal, because it just seems easier to make feet that way. Massive underbite. Maximum underbite, if you will. Huh! Oh, that's not a circle. After a long time of shaping that, I think I've got one. I'm hoping I've got one. Okay, so I got this boot ready other than the hole in it, and I'm gonna attempt to do that now so that I'm just worried about doing it later. It seems like a bad thing to wait on, so I'm just going to slowly, let's slowly twist this in here. I'm going to also grip this. This is a tedious, slow process because I don't want to poke out on one of the sides of the boot. I don't want to mess up the shape of the boot, but I want the boot to be deep enough for the Bratz doll. Okay, so far I found that sticking the pencil in there and slowly swirling it around with the eraser side in is thinning out the edges so that the boot doesn't look so... I mean, they're thick boots anyway, but oh my goodness, they were so big. I'm getting black stuff on her leg. I don't want to push it any further down. I'm going to go get a Sharpie and mark on the side of this so I know exactly how far to push it down next time so I can have pretty similar boots. Okay, so I got one boot done, shaping-wise, so I guess we're going to go with that. Hopefully that works out. I'm not so sure about it. Boot number 2, boot number 2, boot number 2. Working on the second number, boot number 2. I feel like that went a lot faster than shaping the first one. So now I'm gonna make the hole in it and hopefully it comes out to roughly the same size as the other one. Because it's not looking it so far. That's alarming. So I got the boots shaped and I got holes in them, and now like, the only thing I'm gonna test now is the moment of truth on whether they actually fit or not. Because I got them the same size, I got the holes to where I think they're wide enough. And they go on. Ooh, look, they go on. Oh, they're so chunky. Oh, I'm gonna have to make her an outfit to go with this, I think. Oh, I hope I don't get black on her face. I already got it all over her legs so bad. She's like covered in black clay all over her legs from where I've been like testing it out. And please give them back. Okay, I got one. Give it back or I will kill you. Okay, so I'm gonna make the ledge all the way around the bottom so that you can tell that they're Demonia boots. Otherwise, they kind of just look, again, like giant rain boots. And not the look we're going for. So I'm just gonna take this tool and make like a dent. Very nice. Okay, okay, okay. I'm getting nervous because it's turning out pretty well so far, so I don't want to mess it up. This is what I'm talking about, if you can see what I mean. I got this little line around the bottom now to show it has a platform. That's the word I was looking for. Oh, I also forgot to tell you guys, I cut the tips off. I cut the tips off the boots because they were way too chunky on her. They're already still really chunky looking, but we're gonna live with it. I'm gonna get better at this, I promise. And I cut these off so that I could make straps on each side. Hopefully they stay on. I'm not really sure how well that's gonna do. Maybe I'll have to glue them on after, but I'm gonna make straps because Demonia boots come with straps. I'm gonna set the boots to the side and I'm gonna roll this out on the table and hopefully come up with at least, ew, why is that shorter than that one? I don't even care. You can be shorter. I give up on that. I'm gonna roll this out so I can get Demonia straps across it and then maybe paint some silver buckles on. All right, so we've gotten to the point where I need to roll this out a certain way and then squish it because I need to cut it into straps. So if I just do this, it should all be roughly the same size. I should do this on the plastic side, actually. Oh, it is a plastic side. We're fine. Okay, now we're gonna push down because I want it flat. I really wish I had a ruler. I think I did it. I got all these little straps now. So the next thing that I'm going to do is try to get these straps on here. They may fall off, but at least they can bake in the shape of the shoe. And if they bake in the shape of the shoe, then I can get them glued on with hot glue or something more adhesive in the future. One boot's little strappies are on. What do you think? Ah, it's coming together. It's beginning to look kind of like Leela's boot. Should I do a Leela doll? The Demonia straps are on. I've got hair in them though. I'm not happy about that. Okay, now I need to check to make sure that her legs still fit in the leg holes since I've been fiddling around with them so much. Like a glove. Okay, get out of the glove now. I'm scared. Get out of the glove. Okay. So I got my tiny little Demonias right here. So this is all I'm gonna do as far as shaping and the little bit of detail work that isn't paint involved. I got another hair in them. So now I'm gonna pop them in the oven for this long at this temperature. So I'm gonna go pop these in the oven on glass bakeware because I heard that if you don't do it on glass bakeware, it'll ruin them and they won't bake right. So I'm gonna go do this according to instruction and hopefully they'll turn out some type of way that I like. So you're a little bit closer because I did a few things off camera and I had to explain. I did some acrylic painting and then I did some jewel. Well, I mean, I guess they're little, you know those little cutout plastic pieces that are meant to like bejewel stuff? You know what I'm talking about. Sequin-like. I don't have them up here with me anymore, I'd show you. But I used Robin's Egg Blue in the glitter finish paint folk art acrylic and the folk art glitter acrylic emerald, which comes with little pieces of glitter throughout, and I thought they made very nice boots. So hopefully that's focused. I can't really, oh yeah, I can see now. So as you can see, these are my Demonias. I have got the blue glitter on the bottom, which doesn't really show up on camera as well. I'm gonna slide it down so you can see a little bit through the light. But it's got blue glitter on the bottom, green glitter on the straps, and I gave these little bedazzles for the buckles, which I thought just kind of, you know, made them cuter. So that's the inside of them, that's the outside of them. And then I sprayed a varnish over top of them so they'd stay real shiny-like. Anyway, I'm gonna try them on both types of Bratz dolls because one has a thinner leg type than the other, and the other one, you know, has a fatter leg type, obviously. That's what that would mean. Anyway, I am gonna make Converse shoes next week. That's gonna be next week's video, a part 2 to this video, because I made Demonia boots, and I really, really do want Converse shoes, and I have an idea on how to do them involving canvas, tiny little string, and making little Bratz feet, Also, I didn't get to make the glue pegs for this because the holes happen to be big enough that they kind of just stay on the legs, or at least they did when I was trying them on. So, without further ado, I will make the Converse next week, and I will do the glue peg thing that I promised because I want to know how that turns out. But it's not going to work for the boots. I think it would ruin them. Or my Bratz legs. Let's try them on now. Alright, these are the boots on the older Bratz doll. They are a little bit uneven, but you know what? That's okay. I already said I was going to live with that because it's my first pair ever. I think they look pretty nice on her. She doesn't really stand on her own. I lied. Look at her standing on her own. I broke it. Funny story, I was trying to pop them off, and I popped the front little bit off right here. But we got it back on, and I'm going to spray it with another coat of varnish because I was touching all over and it wasn't quite dry. I would like to try it on my skinnier Brat now. Oh wow. That doesn't stay on her feet at all. Well, the left one does. This one does. But the other one is thicker and it comes right off. So these don't stick as well on the newer Bratz dolls, the 2011 version. So that's what I wanted to do this week, was making Bratz shoes, and then I ended up not following the guide that I wanted to because I made boots and it just wouldn't have worked out that way. So like I said, part 2 is going to be next Monday, and it's going to be making Converse, and I'm going to try really hard at these. I think I'm actually going to draw out a pattern this week and figure out exactly what I need to do, and I have an idea in mind on how I'm going to do it. I hope you guys like the Demonias that I made instead. I ended up really liking them anyway, and I think I'm going to make her a little outfit sometime soon to go with them because, I mean, she can't just stand around naked and her Demonias behind me. That's a little bit weird. If you liked that video, go ahead and hit like down below, and if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and let me know what you'd like to see. And if you want to request some Bratz shoes, maybe I could make those in the future on here and try to do a step-by-step because I can plan them out actually and do better. This was more of a wing it, let's see how it goes thing. But if I plan things out, I can usually do them pretty well. Thank you guys for putting up with the videos on my new hobby recently because I'm actually really enjoying myself on this new thing that I've picked up, and I'm improving my skill little by little, and as soon as I finish my first doll, I plan on showing it to you guys so you guys can see how that's going for me. I upload every single Monday, so that's a guarantee, unless I'm sick, dying, or preoccupied with something really important, which doesn't happen very often. I try to get up every single Monday, so I'll see you guys then. Bye!